with your hosts Danny Mendez and Andy V.
The following is a special update from UrbanJunglesRadio. Today we have more news as it trickles in from Bry Loyst, curator of the Indian River Reptile Zoo, on the tragic events that have unfolded in Canada where a large African rock python has allegedly killed 2 young children. Bry is actually en route to the scene of the tragedy where he'll be working to relocate the collection. Before hopping on a plane, he had this to share. Yep. I'm here with Bry Loyst, curator of the Indian River Reptile Zoo, who's got an update for us. So, Bry, what's going on?
And we were all the herpers in the world. We're hoping that it was a human murder, not from the snake. Unfortunately, I asked the RCMP officer today what the children looked like and if there was any evidence of snakes, and both of the children unfortunately had bite marks on them. I didn't ask the location. It seems that he has countless animals, illegal and legal animals out there. Wow. This is going to get even uglier for the herp community. It just does not. This whole thing is really bad.
Were the illegal animals he has reptiles, or is it other exotics as well? It's just reptiles.
No, it seemed the only list that I have the man from the zoo, Magnetic Hill Zoo in Moncton, read me off a list that the New Brunswick government gave to him, so I wouldn't count that as an accurate list.
Right.
And I can't really give you too many of the animals on the list, but one of them was sea turtles. Oh. Now, there have been sea turtles kept as pets in Canada, but it's very rare everywhere. That's, I don't know if I believe. So the list is not accurate yet. The actual list and pictures are coming to me shortly, so we'll know what other animals and what other headaches this man is going to cause for the reptile community, unfortunately, shortly. So it looks like the RCMP wants, unfortunately, me to go out there. I'm not looking forward to this whole ordeal.
Wow.
So I guess, Danny, you'll have to answer the question. I've been talking all day. And the news only says what they want to say. It's as you know, your show does a really good job of actually reporting real news.
Right. Yeah, I know the reports out there are just running away with this, and this is easily starting to look like it could possibly be, one of the most landmark events in exotic animal keeping because of the magnitude and the scope of this, as far as it's become international headlines.
And it was only 25 minutes ago I talked to the officer, and I said, I don't mean to be rude. I said, but the chances of this it just doesn't make sense to me, officer. Are you sure that this isn't a murder? Like, you sure no one's covered? And they're sure, and they're already clearing the house. Like, this man is getting back into his house with his animals shortly. Wow. Like today, like within the hour, he'll be back into his home. That means the investigation is over.
Oh, wow.
Right, if they were still... So, it's a snake. I don't know how this... I don't understand why it would do this, but I do know that they were visiting... I was also told that they were visiting a petting zoo or a farm up to 10:30 that night. So, now that makes sense to me. The kids obviously smell like food.
Now, was the child's parent in that group? When you say they went to a zoo, does this include the kid's mom?
I honestly didn't ask who exactly went to the zoo. Right. I know the kids were at a farm or a petting zoo.
Wow.
I know they were around farm animals, goat, sheep, whatever. So obviously they, it all's making sense, which really sucks for everybody, right?
Totally.
And this is going to also affect zoos in Canada. I'm not sure about in the States, but they're going to implement laws, that's for sure. And unfortunately, a lot of times, every other time they've implemented a law, except for BC in this country, it's the SPCA / Humane Society that takes the reins. And right. We all know they're great with their cats and dogs and sheep and horses, but when it comes to exotics,
yeah. Did you hear anything about the autopsy reports yet? Have they been done?
No, they're not finished yet. They haven't released those findings yet.
Okay.
I did hear some speculation or people talking about, well, maybe it was the ceiling that fell in on the kids. It was a different part of the room. The snake busted the ceiling in, and so I don't know.
Wow,
you have to ask the questions. I'm not sure where to go with this anymore.
Yeah, no, that's rough for sure. No, what capacity are you going to serve going over there? I mean, are you going to help out with sorting through the animals?
Yes, and I don't necessarily want to. It's just that's what we do, is try to help out here, and there's only so many facilities to do this. So the Magnetic Hills Zoo in New Brunswick is talking about where we can place these animals, how we're going to move them, when I can get out there. So I'm trying to figure out how to get out there and how to move this fairly large collection of pretty exotic, dangerous animals. There isn't any venomous animals. Sorry, there's a big tractor coming in. I'm happy there's no venomous animals involved here.
That's good. Yeah, it's definitely a plus.
Very interesting crocodilian species, and I don't know, but the sea turtle thing, it'll probably fly river turtles or something else, or soft shell turtles. I don't know. Until I see the pictures, until I see the list from the zoo official that's there, has already left now, then I'll know more again.
So now that the police investigation, the RCMP investigation is concluded, I mean, does that mean that they'll be determining something publicly soon?
I'm not a police officer, obviously, but I wouldn't say the investigation's necessarily completely 100% finished, but I do know, obviously, the crime scene work is done at the zoo/pet store, whatever it is, because they're letting him back into his house. You don't let someone into a crime scene until you're done.
Right.
There's going to be further investigation into, obviously, the negligent, causing death, possibly charges. I don't know. I didn't ask about that. That's their game. So.
Right. Have you had any updates on the snake itself? Are they still going through with plans to euthanize it, or is it going to be moved?
Yeah, I'm working on trying to have it not. The problem is it's so far from us. It's literally as far as Florida. It's 24 hours away roughly. Wow. And so it's at a vet clinic now. It's probably already gone. Unfortunately, the culprit here.
Wow. Which
is unfortunate for that snake, but Canada's a large country with not very many people, and where's all this stuff going to go? That's always been a problem. So.
Wow, crazy. So, unfortunately, not a lot of good news to report from that end. We could potentially...
No, I was sorry to interrupt. I was really hoping that it was, a murder by human. That's what everyone was hoping for, and everyone's speculating and saying, well, wait for the evidence. Well, bite marks and I gave up on that idea.
Yeah, there's a part of me that still hopes that something else will come through, but I mean, the fact of the matter is it's really, over the last couple hours, I think, since we've had these new details emerge, it's really kind of dawned upon me that this is, a landmark event in our history of keeping animals, and you really couldn't possibly paint a worse picture. People still talk about the child that died in the United States, almost more than a decade ago, from a Burmese python. I mean, I can't imagine the repercussions that 2 children as dying, as a result of negligence on a reptile owner's behalf will bring. It really, really worries me for sure. But it hasn't sunk in yet. There's still a part of me, I guess, until the very end, is hoping that something else comes through. But I mean, from what we're understanding, it's definitely looking pretty bad.
Yeah, and the officer, I don't know how this related, he did say that, again, that the snake was caught going up into this pipe, and someone, I don't know, one of the keepers or someone there, pulled it down and back into the cage, but they never fixed it, so it can't go back up the pipe again. Which is, being a herper right now is this is awful. I don't even know how to say it anymore. I've been talking all day. The news just does not stop calling, and there's just not a positive twist to this. It's very difficult to make anything positive out of this.
For more information, be sure to catch the Urban Jungles radio show live this Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
This is Dominic Monahan, and you're listening to Urban Jungles Radio. Urban Jungle Radio. Urban Jungle Radio. Urban Jungle Radio. This is Dominic Monaghan and you're listening to Urban Jungle Radio.
Thanks for that, Dominic.